this hour, talking to Matt Cardle. Now, you may well remember him because he's still packing out audiences and venues around the country, including the Cheltenham Town Hall in a few weeks' time. Winner of X Factor 2010. And basically, he didn't really apply. He got sort of cajoled to apply. And ever since then, he really hasn't looked back. We'll have a natter. Yeah, and of course, after winning, he put this track out. It's When We Collide.
You say I love you, boy.
Matt Cardle, what a voice he's got. When We Collide. Singer-songwriter, winner of X Factor 2010. July the 3rd, he's going to be live on stage at Cheltenham Town Hall. I had a natter with him recently. He's talked to me about stardom, the pitfalls that come with the job, and really kind of how it all started for him as well.
For me, it all started listening to a bit of Michael Jackson in the garden on my dad's Sony Walkman when I was about, 4 or 5 years old, and falling in love with just his music, his voice, and just sort of knowing from that point on that's what I wanted to do / be. I didn't want to be Michael Jackson, I wanted to be myself, but I wanted to be a performer, a singer, a songwriter, you name it, and have been endeavouring to follow that through for in my entire life.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with the Michael Jackson album. There are so many great ones, aren't there?
There's too many.
So that clearly led on to applying for the X Factor. Who sort of put the application in? Can you remember all that bit of it?
Well, it was actually an ex-girlfriend's best friend who videoed me in a pub singing and sent it in without me knowing, and then one thing led to another, and I got a call saying, could you come down and audition? So I did, not knowing what it was for. When I found out it was X Factor, I tried to walk away, but they forced me to do it, basically. And I didn't, I wasn't pushed onto the stage, essentially, but I was pushed into the audition.
Hello there, how you going?
What's your name?
My name's Matt Cardle.
Okay, and Matt, how old are you?
I'm 27.
And what's your job?
I'm a painter by trade every now and again, but I'm a bit of a bum if I'm honest. It's the truth.
Okay, and what are you going to sing today?
Amy Winehouse, I'm no good.
Okay.
What were your misgivings about the X Factor?
I just didn't think I was cut out for it, really. I grew up listening to Rage Against the Machine, Nirvana, Pearl Jam, like Eddie Vedder being one of my heroes. I just didn't think that was where my music would fit in.
Well, let's kind of turn the clock back 6 years to the X Factor. What was the actual reality of the whole sort of appearance on the show?
It was an amazing experience, one that I will take to the grave with me, and also one that I would do again. It's a huge machine. It's a TV show, essentially. There's not much music about it, apart from that 2 minutes on a Saturday and Sunday.
I decided after hearing that Amy Winehouse song that I really, really like you.
Thank you so much.
What was he like? What was Simon Cowell actually like on it?
It was lovely to me. A couple of strange song choices. A couple of strange changes here and there of costume and things like that. But he was a nice chap. I didn't get a lot of FaceTime with him. I got enough to know that he's very nice.
It massively kick-started your career, though, appearing on that show, didn't it?
Yeah, no, totally.
So how did it work then? You won it, to all the big sort of, the big hype, and then the weekend comes, then the single gets released, and then the album. But what sort of commitment does the record company give you?
Well, it's the commitment to that album, at least, they can't plan too far ahead. You see the support from the label throughout the album and the tour and things like that, and then you have to make a decision, and the decision was, the album was platinum. It was great. There was top 10 singles from the album. There was nothing wrong with that at all. I just think that we had different opinions of what we wanted to do next time round, and we went from Psycho and Columbia. I left Psycho and Columbia and did my next album independently because I wanted all the control. And I did that, and we came back with another top 10 album, on an indie label, and that was just an amazing feat for me. So I did it again, and we had the duet with Mel C on the third album, which again was independent, and again another top 10 album. It was just, everything was going so great,
So you're coming to Cheltenham. In fact, you're doing a load of dates, aren't you?
We're all over the place. It's on the 3rd of July. We're in Cheltenham Town Hall, and we've just wanted to sort of cherry pick beautiful venues, really, and that's what we've done. I don't know if you've been inside the hall, but it's absolutely stunning inside.
It is stunning.
And as are all of the venues that we're playing, all over the UK, Glasgow, Edinburgh, Isle of Wight. We're going all over the place, but they're all very much hand-picked, beautiful venues.
Yeah, and Cheltenham Town Hall, you were mentioning, love to do kind of intimate venues, and actually this 60-date tour is called Intimate and Live, isn't it?
Absolutely, we're covering our bases,
Yeah, definitely doing that. I mean, for you, clearly you love performing, and actually... You also like a bit of acting, don't you? You played the lead in Memphis, the musical.
Yes, that was something I never thought I would be able to do, but now I know that, and I totally fell in love with it while I was doing it. And, to get to work with all the people at the Shaftesbury Theatre, the whole company and cast, and Beverly Knight and Rachel John, and, there was just so many amazing things about that experience.
Yeah, is it important for you to come out of the sort of comfort zone?
Absolutely, yeah. No, I think if you're not scared by something, then it's not new. It's not challenging you. The last time I was that terrified was going into X Factor.
Singer-songwriter Matt Cardle is coming to Cheltenham Town Hall just over a month's time, July the 3rd. More from him in just a bit. He mentioned a little bit earlier on how Michael Jackson was a huge influence to him getting into music. And he also said during that interview just then that this lady was the reason, a big part of the reason that he went on to X Factor. It's Amy Winehouse. Love is a losing game. Chatting to Matt Cardle a little bit more after 1:30, ahead of the singer-songwriter's performance at the Cheltenham Town Hall just over a month's time on July the 3rd. He mentioned collaborations during the last bit of the interview. He said how much he loved working with Melanie C. This was Loving You.
Leave your door open.
Was speaking to me earlier about stardom, the pitfalls that come with a job. And I asked him also about the X Factor generally, Dermot being back on the show. What's the future for the show and Dermot?
Do you know what? I have no idea. I'm glad that Dermot's back. I think he did an incredible job and does an incredible job. He's a great guy. He really steers that show when he's on it. I think the fact that he left for whatever reasons, I have no idea, but it was a shame that he went, but it's great now that he's back. I just don't know. He's been going for a very long time. I think maybe they should give us, the public, a chance to miss it. Maybe a year, 2 years, and then come back. The fact of the matter is, there was 20 million people that watched the final when I won it, and that's gone down to half, but we're still talking upwards of 6 or 7 million people watching it, and that is no small effort by a TV show maker / producer.
If they ever asked you to be a guest judge, would you say, yeah, absolutely?
You know what? Purely for the fact that I've been through the whole process, start to finish, and come out winning it, I feel like I would be justified to sit there and critique someone, and just from experience, not because I want to sit there with my face on TV and shout at people. No, I don't, but I could honestly sit there with experience and empathy for what these people are going through and suggest stuff.
The winner of the X Factor 2010 is...
What's the reality like for new artists coming through now in the record industry with the likes of Spotify and auditions and shows like X Factor? How important is it to write an album and also to tour?
It's hard. The industry has changed so much, but even in the last 5 years, it's changing by the month if you keep up with it. It's a scary place to be because no one knows, quite how they're making the money that they're making anymore. It's just not how it was. But you mentioned albums, and that's all you can do. If you're going to be an artist, just be an artist. Write incredible albums and put your heart and soul into it and experience, and just stay true to yourself and let the industry do what it's going to do, because there's no stopping it.
Where'd you get your experience from for the songs that are quite deep, many of them?
It's all personal experience. I co-write my songs, and it's all from personal experience, and it's a lot of it is about heartbreak and this and that one the other. At least it has been for 3 albums. I had my own personal trouble with addiction and rehab and recovery and things like that early 2014, so this album is very heavily kind of weighted on the subject of recovery and an addiction, but it hasn't made for a negative sounding album. It's made for a really uplifting, positive sounding album, which you can hear if you grab your ticket on the 3rd of July.
Yeah, what would you say to somebody who was, going through a similar experience to you, and maybe, spent time in somewhere like the Priory?
Well, talk about it. There's nothing more cathartic than talking about things. It's really powerful, and there are places you can go where people just sit and talk. They're amazing rooms, and you can get a lot from them.
Yeah, and an awful lot of people, especially young people, have, issues all the time. 1 in 5, isn't it, has a, mental health issue, and for young people growing up now with social media, there's a lot more pressure than probably even from when you were growing up.
Yeah, look, this, again, you just, once you admit a problem, so it's a problem halved. You just need to talk to someone, whatever it is. As soon as you let it off your chest, as soon as you explain to someone the situation, and from my personal experience as well, that the moment that I did that, then your problem is halved, and you can start to beat whatever it is.
Well, now you're coming to Cheltenham Town Hall in July. If there was a track that kind of sums up Matt Cardle, which one would it be? And we'll get it on now.
Oh, that's difficult. Why don't you choose?
OK, we're going to have a little bit of Amazing, if that's OK with you.
That's totally fine with me. Hi, I'm Matt Cardle. This is a track from my first album, Letters. This is called Amazing.
Great voice, Matt Cardle. That was from his album Letters, and Amazing. He's going to be in Cheltenham at the Town Hall Sunday the 3rd of July. It's going to be a good one as well.